Hello, everyone. My name is Nebu Fullman, and this is my industry expert review. Um, it is for the Advanced Entertainment Law class at Full Sail University, where my professor is Cassandra Willard. Our assignment was to either interview an attorney or listen to a podcast done by an attorney and give our assessment and what we learned from that podcast. I did not interview an attorney, so I listened to a podcast by Mr. Gordon P. Firemark, Esquire. He has a podcast, of course, entitled The Entertainment Law Update. He also has a website, which is very informative. It is entertainmentlawupdate.com, uh, where he discusses issues of law as it pertains to entertainment. Um, this particular podcast was from June, and it had some very interesting topics in it. The first was dealing with deceased celebrities and their estates. Uh, his team talked about the uh, estate of the late great Whitney Houston, where back in May, apparently her estate was notified that there were underreported taxes in the amount of about $22.6 million, and the estate owes about $14 million on that. And it was because the IRS had valued her publicity rights for a few years, I guess, at about $11.7 million. And the discussion turned to the taxes of deceased celebrities and the publicity rights. And how does the IRS come up with these valuations, et cetera, et cetera. Uh, one question was asked was, well, if the IRS values someone's estate at X amount of dollars, if those dollars do not pan out, does the heirs of the deceased celebrity get a refund on that? So that's a very interesting topic. One of the people, of course, he discussed was Prince. At this point, Prince had just passed, I believe, in April. And again, this podcast was from June. At this time, they were finding out that his intellectual property was valued between 100 and 300 million dollars. So they discussed the people who were coming forward and how this was going to be handled. So this was going to be an interesting set of events that are going to occur dealing with evaluation of rights of publicity and the IRS. Uh, Another celebrity that they discussed was the late great Robin Williams, and how apparently in his estate planning he had it written in where his image would not be used for a certain number of years, and they deduced that that was to help his estate and his heirs not have to pay these huge taxes, uh, to the IRS. So we'll see how that goes, and it was very informative, very good discussion. The next thing that they talked about was public domain, and of course, we know public domain is materials that the public, in essence, can use. And we know in the news, I guess in the past couple of years, the song "Happy Birthday" uh, has finally come into the public domain, and there's a particular case in the news right now that they were discussing by a band by the name of Satari. They created a version of "This Land Is Your Land," and what they did was they used the lyrics from "This Land Is Your Land," but they used a different melody. And so the song "This Land Is Your Land" was credited to Mr. Willie Guthrie, which was written apparently from another song, the Fire Song. Uh, but apparently the song never got registered. So their discussion was how, um, if the band paid their mechanical license, which they did, how are they going to, or not going to be able to use the song? They thought that Ludlow may have the sync license to the song, and they just weren't 100% sure. But this was a very interesting topic as well, because they mentioned about the 2004 presidential campaign where Jib Jab did a parody using "This Land Is Your Land," and they were actually sued. So they're trying to see how this is going to come about. They discussed also the song "We Shall Overcome," which apparently Pete Seeger had released a song, and of course may have also been created from an old Christian song as well. And so they, talked about how the Butler wanted to use the song, the movie The Butler wanted to use the song "We Shall Overcome," and the at first they wanted to charge them an exorbitant amount of money to be able to use the song, and apparently they were able to talk them down to about $15,000, and they only used about 30 seconds of the song in the movie. And so this public domain, these public domain cases will probably continue to hit, the courts to decide really what is public domain and what is not. The next thing they discussed, also very interesting, it's been in the news in the last few years with the current administration in the White House, net neutrality. And this apparently is a suit that has been brought by mobile carriers. And they've sent a petition to the FCC, and they want more control over the data that is that their companies control, or their companies have. They got into a little bit of the weeds in this fight, so it got very deep. But one thing that did come out of it was that these companies, these mobile companies, are willing to take this fight all the way to the Supreme Court. So we'll see how this comes about, or comes out, I should say, with the mobile carriers and how they control our data. All right. And the last case that they discussed that I found interesting was the state of California is joining a list of states that are basically trying to copyright the minutes and the video conferences of their city council meetings and their government meetings. And this was a very interesting case. They discussed the city of Inglewood, and I believe the mayor is Mayor Butts, because they kind of had a good time bringing that name up. But apparently they are trying to copyright their city council meetings. This was very interesting to me, having been someone who has written songs and has copyrighted them, and kind of knowing a little bit about copyright. It's just very interesting of why government officials would want their materials copyrighted, and I'm just trying to see what benefit they would get from copywriting their materials. I don't know if they would use it to sue someone if their words were used against them. It's just an interesting thing. Like I said, they did say that Georgia is trying to do the same thing, and California is actually in the process of doing this. So we'll see how this turns out. I don't know. It was a very good discussion that Mr. Firemark and his team had regarding that, but I just don't know where it goes. This one's going to be very interesting. So we shall see. And last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, here are the references from all of the photos that I have. I hope you guys enjoyed this short industry expert review. Again, please check out Mr. Gordon P. Firemark, Esquire, the entertainmentlawupdate.com, or he has a podcast on iTunes, which is Entertainment Law Update. You will enjoy it. There are plenty of others out there, and he will definitely give you a wealth of information. Thank you so much.